Well, it's been a wild and woolly sort of day. I mean, start with is like 34 degrees here in hot, humid Queensland. Welcome to living in the subtropics, even if you're just voyeuristically joining us in the hookup. It's been a crazy day in other factors as well. I had a sale, it was a $400,000 sale collapse on me this morning. It's a bit hard to be happy about that. It's taken 8 months to get to this stage. And then, yeah, just an accountant decided to give advice to the buyer. And one of my big challenges in life is accountants who like to value businesses rather than actually just provide taxation advice. So yet to see a rich accountant. So be wise in who you get your advice from. But it's not been all been bad. I mean, we've also had some fantastic things. I had a client have a look at a property, and we may have a listing for about $300,000, which is a nice small one, but keeps things going. And then we had the big bopper drop in, and it looks like we may well get a listing for over $4.5 million. As I tell people, when you work in commercial real estate, you deal with a lot of zeros, but it takes a long time and a lot of work to make these things happen. So, when all these things occur, you can easily get lost and confused. That's why it's important, and that's why I work to a plan. Now, you may recognize that God also had a plan. He's got lots of plans, actually. But when he built, or when he did created creation and the heavens and the earth and the stars, is very methodical. He very much had a plan in place. And I am going to try and use this new software today to show you how I actually do planning from a business point of view. Should be interesting little concepts. Trying to work out how we make things move around. No, ain't going to happen. Okay, all right. I use a diagram that has a couple of components. So if you can see here, this is a rough diagram that I've used for Bundaberg Commercial, my business from a couple of years ago. In the top left-hand corner is a goal. Now, it all starts with God. That's it's as simple as that. So my goal is to help those who God puts me in front of. And then the other goal that I have is to demonstrate that high ethics can be successful in realty and that good service sells. So very much the um, the passion, the vision sort of type aspects. And just underneath it, there's actually some goals in regards to number of days I want to work and number of, amount of revenue that we want to take. So we've got a mix of passion as well as logic. We still need to pay the bills, and we're very grateful for whatever God provides to us. So the top left is what our purpose is. Now, in the bottom left, which you can't actually see, we have a status of where we're currently. So I have figures in there regarding the number of clients I have, the number of revenue I have, where the geography is, the type of businesses I have. It's essentially a stock take of where we currently are. So that's in the bottom left. In the top right, if I can get this cursor to go over here, we have where we want to be. Now, this plan here that I have, I use this as a 12-month plan, but you can have a weekly plan, a monthly plan, a daily plan. You can plan to your heart's content, whatever works for you, as long as you have something to keep you focused and keep your direction going. So in the future, I'd like to have a business that reflects Jesus' values in my dealings and look at 25 listings that are worth $20 million. Yep, so that big bopper today will be helping get along that way. And to have sales which are 15% of listings. So that's the essence. Bottom left is where we are. Top right is the future that we have. Now, how do we get from the bottom left to the top right? Well, we have a few strategies in place, and you see the strategies are here. Now, I usually don't have more than three strategies. There's a fair bit of work, and it's like everything in life. The more plans you have, the more strategies you have, the more time you have divested in various aspects. And you can easily do lots of things poorly. So you're much better off having just a few strategies and focus on those. So my first strategy for a couple of years ago was to increase the industrial estate properties. My second strategy, I was wanted to be fully independent. At that time, I was working in collaboration with other agencies. And the third strategy was to shuffle around where my clients were. I was doing a lot of mileage in those days, northwest. I had a territory as big as Tasmania. So a typical day would be driving 2 hours just to go and get to the patch where my clients were. A lot of logistics. And the strategy 4 was to increase my strike rate. My strike rate wasn't you can work harder by getting more clients, or you can work a bit smarter. So I worked out if I can be better at sales, better at commercial real estate, I could sell more properties, but without having to work so hard. Now, every strategy, every plan needs resources. Now, any army that goes to battle has resources. So that's where I have down here the four key resources in this particular instance. So budget, cash flow, and a vehicle. That's nothing difficult to work out there. Resource two was mainly in the area of marketing. So looking at branding, looking at reshaping my business. I was going to drop leasing out of it and just focus on property and selling businesses and having a look at some integrated websites. And resource three is a skill set. You can always make sure you learn more. So I wanted to get onto a commercial course and learn more about Xero, which was my accountancy software. And the fourth resource was independence. In regards to being independent, as you can see, that was my second strategy. I needed an accountant and an auditor, a license, some bank accounts, and trust accounts. So that all got set up and organized. Now, you need to also be realistic and factor in what I call a SWOT analysis. So, a SWOT analysis is what we call strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You've probably heard of them before. The thing that a lot of people may forget is that the strengths is an internal option. Weakness is an internal option. Opportunity and threats are external options. So strength over service mentality. And my education is higher than the average real estate agent. So in strengths, you want things that aren't easy to replicate and quickly replicate. Now, you either got service mentality or you don't. And education, look, it's taken me 10 years through university as well as several courses afterwards to get that. So if a competitor decided they wanted to try and take me on an education basis as a strength, it's going to take them a long time to get there. My weaknesses, okay, closing skills. It's been a while since I've been in sales at that stage, and access to building owners networks. I live in a town where it's a little bit clicky, and you need to be able to connect with the right people to, birds of a feather flock together, we say. You find one building owner, you generally find that they know a couple of other building owners. And once you get into that network, you'll you find that your connections are a lot stronger and a lot faster. Opportunities, I recognized at that stage that Harvey Bay was pretty much a new territory for me, so cold calls were going to give me plenty of opportunity. And to be honest, the threats, I think there was one or two competitors who were looking at coming into the industry, but were just struggling. So, putting it in a nutshell, it's good to have a plan. With a plan, you will always have a purpose, and purpose gives you passion. And you'll find that if you have a passion, if you have a training plan, then things work out better for you. Starts with a goal, then you have a look at where you are, and then go to, I was about to point with my finger, but that doesn't work for you. Find out what the goal is, find out where you currently are, work out where you want to be in the future, work out some strategies to get you from where you are to the future, allocate some resources, and then do a SWOT analysis. Okay, it doesn't need to be rocket science. As you can see, my business plan is on one page. Okay, I hope you enjoy this week's video. And next week, I should hopefully be a little bit smarter with the software and make a bit better quality. But leave your comments, let me know, especially if you know how to use this Clipchamp software. I'm always happy to learn some more in that space. Take care and God bless.